You are listening to the WYRD Mountain Gals Show. Prepare yourself.
I'm getting stared down right now by a 120-pound ball of furry love machine. Look at
Oh,
him.
the dog?
Yes. Yeah,
Ah,
if it was a man, a 120-pound furry love machine man, I wouldn't sound nearly as happy about it.
yeah, 120 pounds feels pretty small.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
But
no offense intended to any small 120-pound man
yeah,
out there. I'm sure they're fine.
I'm sure they are. But, but 120 pounds feels about right in dog size for me. I like
I like a big dog.
Me too. I like all dogs mostly, and I like all cats mostly, and I like all animals mostly. I
I'm
like
not
them
a
a lot
huge
more than
fan.
humans.
I'm not a huge fan of little bitty dogs like Chihuahuas. Nah, I'm
Uh,
not a fan.
I don't like nervous natured animals, or I'm
Or
not gonna say
people.
that I don't like them. It's just that I pick up on it, and it bugs me to be around a nervous natured animal like it would with a person. Yes, you're right. So anyway, well,
Funny.
tell me how everything's going for you.
Well, I had my annual physical with my doctor today,
Okay.
and all of that, all the visible signs of good health were there. My blood pressure was amazing, and my O2 level, and blah, 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 all that stuff. She checked my feet for neuropathy. It was all great. But I also did blood work. So, that's when it really comes into play. I'll
Mm-hmm.
hear about that tomorrow, Wednesday.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But yeah, I
Well,
mean, she was good. She said, you are a remarkably healthy person. Uh, and she said, and when I think about where you were this time last year,
oh yeah.
or not this time last year, but she saw me in December of last year. She said, you really, you've done what I asked you to do health wise. So that's
Yeah.
good. That's
Well,
good.
that's very good. I mean, and it's against the trend for the southeastern United States. Did you know that?
What?
To be that healthy.
Well, I mean, I guess. I don't know. She
Well,
did say something really kind of sweet. I said, I would like to get, get as healthy as I can be before I hit 70 next March. And she went, well, I got to tell you, you don't look or act like a 70-year-old person. And I
oh,
just
you do
went, well,
not.
I said, well, thanks. That's good to hear.
Yeah, you absolutely do not. I I was telling who was it? I guess it was Gary this morning that I had watched. I was watching a YouTube show. It was a podcast about trad wives, which
Uh-huh.
you've heard. Do you know what a trad wife is?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so the two women who were talking about the trad wives, I thought to myself, well, they're both beautiful, but in different ways. One of them had more makeup, and one had no makeup, and blah blah blah. And it just kind of, I thought that they were like in late 20s, 30s, something like that. I didn't think much about it, but that's kind of where I place them, and I was really surprised to hear that they were both 50. I was like,
Yeah. I
wow.
tell
So
you,
I
that
was
a
telling,
clean life will do it for you.
yeah. Well, I told Gary, damn, Gary, I'm looking at women in their 50s thinking that they're young now.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and we laughed about getting old. Because we used to talk about that stuff all the time together, and I talk about it with all my friends that I still know. We would talk about it in high school, and there were like these little markers for me of when old would be. One of them was, in my mind, about 20 years ago, I bought or we bought this Select Comfort mattress. It's
Uh-huh.
the air mattress, and it was a big giant investment for us. It was, but you know, it it had at the time a 20-year warranty on it. And I remember thinking I would be 62 when the warranty went out on it, and thinking, "Oh my God, will I even be able to?" It's like 62. I can't even
Golly,
imagine that.
I'll be so old.
Yeah, that's the that. Okay, so this is I'm done being old now. I prefer ageless. I'm just ageless. I could be old, I could be young, I could be dead, I could be alive. I'm just ageless. I'm just a little piece of flotsam out there floating around in the universe.
Well, what did they say to me today? I can't remember if it was the intake gal or the doctor about. I said, "Oh, getting older." They said, "We don't call it old now. Getting older, we call it." It wasn't maturing, but it was something like that. And I went, "Well, I mean, it's still getting old, though, right?" "Well, yeah, but now we call it like they used to call it your sunset years or your golden years, and now it's your I don't know something. I don't remember what you called it now."
Well, I have never been a person who dreaded the thought of getting old. I just never expected to.
No,
Oh,
me too.
yeah, and the reality of getting old is whatever I make of it. Yeah, I could bitch, and I do, I'm sure, quite a bit about, the physical stuff. I'm not the person I was 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, or 10 years ago. But I, you know, I mean, basically it's just what you make out of it. On the other hand, 60 feels good because nobody I feel like I've earned it. I'm 60. I have some legitimacy just because I made it this far. The sheer dumb luck of making it into my 60s. It's like for that reason I feel like okay, no, I'm not intimidated. Not that I ever was, but you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
I have arrived. I'm finally 60. I'm done with saying things like I should do this. We should do such and such. It's from here on out. It's why don't we do such and such? Let's make a plan for it and do it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
No, that's what I mean. That's what it's got to be now, and that's one of the lessons of Helene. I
yeah,
think is that you just never know. You
yes.
never know.
Mhm. You wouldn't. Well, but I tell you, WLOS would find a way to remind you of it.
Oh yeah, every damn minute, every damn day. Hey, I heard a thing though today. My one of my neighbors said, uh, "Have you heard about that primal scream down on Craven Street?" And I was like, "What?" And
Okay.
evidently, I think it's Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. We're all supposed to gather on the Craven Street Bridge for three primal screams.
Ooh,
And I said to her, "Well, see, now that's something I think I could get behind. A lot of
yeah.
this stuff, I just can't with it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
screaming on a bridge, hell yeah, I might be able to do that."
A bridge named Craven.
Yes,
You know,
yes, indeed.
I I I don't know what to say to that because there's a lot of stuff going on out there, but it's with WLOS, and I'm sorry to be bitching about them again. Every single news episode that they've had for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm serious, every episode they have talked about something about the hurricane. And for those of us who would like to put it behind us, I don't want to always be reminded of it every single freaking news episode.
Well, they're just doing it till we get up to the anniversary this
Yeah,
weekend
yeah.
because then they can keep us feeling sad and digging in our pockets to send more money and all that stuff.
Well, they traumatize people all over again
They
sometimes.
do.
And it's like really we have to go back. I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay it some attention. Okay, but the way that they do it is just, hey, let's go focus on this thing, this traumatic thing. And not that it wasn't all traumatic, but I don't know. I guess they're in a bad position as a news
No,
place.
they're not.
Yeah.
They're damn Sinclair Broadcasting. They're not in a bad position.
Oh, that's true. I wonder if they're going to bring back Kimmel to Sinclair, because they say they're letting Kimmel go back on the air tomorrow night.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, Disney has reported losses of over $14 billion
Yeah,
with a
people
B
canceling.
of canceled subscriptions. And they've said that after thoughtful conversation, they have they have agreed to put Kimmel back on the air starting Tuesday night. Evidently, they wanted him to calm down on the political rhetoric, and I think he told them where they could stick it.
Yep, that's what I
And
heard.
yep, and so evidently they caved. Now I don't know what that means for this merger that they were hoping to get. They may not get it now because of spiteful retribution and all of that. But they caved, and more importantly, in my opinion, of course, more importantly, somebody stood up and won. Somebody didn't blink, and it finally happened. That happened. Maybe it
And
hasn't happened yet.
maybe that's going to inspire other people to not be such weaklings.
I guess. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, there's just so much. Well, Joe came in a few minutes ago because I ain't watching the news anymore, and he said, "So the president just declared that Tylenol causes autism, and that pregnant women should not take Tylenol. But if they have pain, they need to just tough it out." And I, I'm just sitting here flabbergasted, like, well, what ridiculous bullshit is that? And then
I heard that.
yeah, and then he came prancing back in to say, you know what? I hope Tylenol sues him, starting right now.
Yeah,
Just
they
bring the
should.
case right now.
Yeah, they should. Well, Elizabeth Warren gave RFK a spanking. I mean, she just
Yes, she did. She did last week. You mean?
no. Well, I was under the impression it was yesterday, but it might have been last week. I'll
I
go
thought
back
it
and
was like
check
Thursday, Friday of last week, because yesterday was Sunday. She wouldn't have been spanking him on a
that. Right.
Sunday.
I'm sorry. You're right. No, you're
That's
absolutely right.
that's
But
Jesus' day. You can't spank
yes,
people on Sunday.
unless you're a trad wife, that is.
Right. And then you can get spanked on Sunday because you didn't get the Sunday dinner done in time.
Oh my gosh, or you spoke in a way that wasn't respectful.
Oh, to the head of your household.
Yeah. So
Oh
I
my
tell you,
God.
I'm surprised. I'm incredibly surprised that I didn't get, mad, triggered, or whatever you want to call it, watching that episode about trad wives. I'd never heard the term, but I had been exposed to the that that line of thought and thinking. And
Yeah, of course.
yeah, not in. I gotta say, I'd never heard of it in my own family. I've never heard of it, and
No,
it's
me
been
either in
my
my family.
experience that's not how the women folk were treated.
Right.
But they also weren't big old Christians either.
Right.
And the first, going to Asheville Christian Academy did expose me to that a little tiny bit, but I was young enough to not really know what the deal was. I just knew that there was a certain look, there was a certain voice that went along with it, and this is women who were, or excuse me, girls who were teaching themselves or getting themselves ready to be that perfect Christian wife. And then when I met my business partner, he explained it in no uncertain terms. And he didn't call it a philosophy or anything. He just point blank said, the woman is there to serve the man, and blah, 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 blah. And, these are all the things that me and you've talked about and that have gone on, as far as I know, all the way through humanity.
Well,
Especially
all
since
the way through patriarchy, for sure.
well, yeah. But patriarchy has been around,
It has. for about
Yes.
6,000 years, but humanity was around before that.
Well, that's true. That's true. You're right about that. And I just I just don't know what to say. I'm tired of my brain not being able to settle about the subject
Hmm.
because
Well,
there's
it's funny because I mean, in some ways, I think of myself as a trad wife because I grow my own food and I can it, and I, cook most meals
Mhm.
we have at home. All of that is what to me a trad wife is somebody who kind of, I have a washing machine, but I don't have a dryer, so I hang clothes out on the line. That feels very trad wife to me, but that other bullshit,
well,
I ain't holding with none of that.
if you're a trad wife, you're also a quiver wife by default.
A what?
A quiver wife and a quiver
Oh,
wife.
yes, yes, a quiverful wife. Yep.
Uh-huh. And the quiverful wives have a quiver full of children
Oh,
because it
yeah,
makes the Lord smile.
it does.
Yeah, it also, furthers their cause, I guess. And so the point of that podcast was that this woman had left that lifestyle, but that she had grown up in, and was there to talk about an entire generation of women that had grown up with that philosophy, and they're out there now,
Yep. And
and
sooner or later, some of them are going to wake up and go, What, what could be done that I'm not able to do? What?
yeah, well,
Not
she
all of
said
them. Not all of them.
no, and honestly, some of them are perfectly happy, and let them be.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
let them be. But the it's a really weird, bizarre.
I would wish and hope that we had gotten beyond that, but I know we haven't.
Feel lucky at times. I do, because I didn't have to go through that. It was not pleasant to be around sometimes. And he managed to. He would shut his mouth and he would back up most of the time, but he was arrogant. He was especially arrogant towards women, and it bugged the crap out of me.
Well, of course it would, since you're a woman.
Hmm. I remember he told me one time, "Be quiet, I'm thinking." I was like, "What?"
Wow. You
And
lesser being.
well, first of all, I actually laughed and I said, "You require silence to think." What? And I said, "You need to work on that." And then I just lit into him, blah, 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 whatever it was. You've heard me before. You've heard me get mad before.
I have. You are sharp and smart. Yep.
Well, I am. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for saying that. I got nothing else to say
Sharp and
about it.
smart. That's exactly what you are.
Well, thank you. I would. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. That's good. That's all I need to hear. Yeah. So I want to know now that I guess it was Saturday evening. Getting over there, I was going to go to this store there, and I drove into the actual outlet mall parking lot because I was going to take a phone call, and I didn't want to be in traffic, and I was going to be there, and I slowly drive around the mall, and I get to the side that used to have Dillard's,
Yeah.
and the entire parking lot was packed with food trucks.
Ooh, what'd you get?
I didn't, because every single food truck had a line of somewhere between 10 and 30 people.
Oh, God. What was going on?
I don't know. I couldn't find
Ah,
any information about it. Had I tried to park, which I did try to park for a while, but there was just no parking. You had to practically park all the way on the other side of the mall parking lot and then walk that far to get over to the food trucks because there was nothing. And I'm not kidding. There were at least 50 food trucks.
Oh.
Yeah, it was there was a food truck for everything. There was a food truck that did nothing but fish.
Mm.
One for There was a soul food, of course, the prerequisite barbecue. There was one that was nothing but Oreo stuff, some sort of Oreo desserts. One that was nothing but popcorn. One that was nothing but cotton candy. One that's carnival food, but there was a bunch of other food there too. Oh, there was one that was nothing but cheesecake desserts. And even just the
Wow.
ones that I saw driving, the soul food one had a line wrapped around it. There was a Jamaica one that had a lot of people there. There was one that was, I think it was just chickens, or excuse me, grilled cheese sandwiches.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I still think that's the best idea. That guy was a genius. There was a guy at the Flat Rock Music Festival who had it. I guess it was a food truck, even though that wasn't a big thing back then. But he had, and all he sold were grilled cheese sandwiches. He charged $1 for the grilled cheese sandwich. You could not ask for anything special. You got what you got, period, end of sentence. And, it was a buck. And he had lines during the whole festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he sold out at some point.
Well, I mean, think how easy it would be. You just walk up to the truck and you go, "I'd like three, please."
Yeah.
And he
Three.
hands you three and you give him $3.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Yeah. Oh, and then somebody next to him needs to have the tomato soup truck. So, it would. I've joked about that with my other buddy many times about opening a food truck, and said we're never going to do it because I
No.
don't even really want to.
Well, it's a lot of work.
It is. Um, I used to, I used to work in the concession stand when for football, when my brother was playing
Oh,
football,
uh-huh.
and I loved doing that so much. It was so fun, but it really was not work. It was just hand people stuff and take the money, hand people stuff and take the money, hand people stuff,
Right.
and we would all be in this just the greatest mood. And I don't know why, but we all just would be back there singing together and singing to the customers and all of that. And I think that's why I had such a good experience.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yep. That was the
Well,
West Asheville sports program, the Wasps.
yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we had fun yesterday as part of our ritual. I had one of the priestesses say the first verse, just speak the first verse of Bringing in the Sheaves. So she
Oh,
just spoke it like a prayer or, like a poem. And then I and one of the other priestesses who knew
yeah.
the song,
Yeah.
we jumped in with the chorus, singing the chorus. And I was flat out amazed at the number of people at that ritual who knew Bringing in the Sheaves. And
Wow.
they sang it just joyful. And then we
Wow.
got to the last verse, and most people, I guess, didn't know. Well, it was probably the second verse. They didn't necessarily know that, but boy, they bowed in on Bringing in the Sheaves. That was
That's
great.
awesome. Yeah, that sounds like awesome fun.
Sowing in the morning, sowing seeds of kindness, sowing in the noontide and the dewy eve, waiting for the harvest and the time of reaping. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the
does. I was going to ask you how that went. I thought about it. I thought about you and I thought about going. And then I thought, nope, nope, not ready yet.
It went really, really well. It was not a big, huge crowd, but it's not one of our big attendee events. But the crowd was sweet, and they had a wonderful time. It was delightful.
That's good.
And
I'm
I
glad
didn't
to
have
hear it.
much to do because I assigned all my usual stuff out. I said, "Why
Okay.
don't you do that?"
Well, I'm
They said,
glad you did.
"Don't you want to do so and so?" And I go, "No, I don't think so. Why don't you do that?"
Mm.
It'll be fun for you to do that. How about you
Yeah.
do that? It
And
was
it probably,
great.
I bet it was. I'm glad.
I'm gonna
It's
do more of
about
that.
time. Yeah, you need some more of that. Keep it up. And saying that, what does your week look like coming up?
As I will tell you what I've been telling everybody who says, "So what are you doing this week?" I say, and I'm saying to you, I'm leaving enough space this week for me to have a breakdown. That's what I'm doing this week.
Okay. Okay. Well,
But on Saturday, I think, and I'll send you this information, they are dedicating one of those North Carolina highway markers to Mary Sand, who was one of the women in Madison County who sang all the ballads, and that
yeah.
Cecil Sharp
Yeah.
recorded her. They're
Okay.
putting up a marker for her. I believe it is at 2 o'clock on Saturday.
Mm,
And I have told Donna Ray Swan and Sheila K. Adams that I'm going to do my best to be there. So if you want to go out with me
I would love
on
that.
Saturday, we will go out. And, it's a back and damn beyond.
Yeah.
Of course, why would you want to put it in a place where people might see it? You get on 25 and get off 25 onto 208,
Okay.
which I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know where. And it's a couple miles past where you can turn off to 212.
Yeah.
So it's up in there. It's up in the kingdom of Madison.
Well, hopefully the weather will be good, and I'll ride with you if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Have you
I'd love
been?
to have you do that.
Oh, thank you. Yay.
And I'm
Yay.
gonna take some elderberry tincture in case Miss Sheila K. Barnhill Adams is there.
Yeah. You
So she's
should.
got some. And if I'm gonna take some anyway, and if she's not there, I'm gonna give it to Donna Ray because she and Donna Ray sing together all the time. I'll just say,
Yeah.
give this to the sheriff.
That's what you should do. That's a good idea.
Just a
Um.
little something. And I thought I might also bring flowers to just put down at the base of the marker
Yeah. That's
because
nice.
it's important.
Well,
That's
it
so
is
important.
important. Something that people don't do anymore. So yeah, no, that sounds like a worthwhile thing to do. I'd really
So
like that.
what were you thinking of though?
Well, I'm ready for my little private breakdown too, but what I have to do first is I have to get to the point where my body, my physiology, myself, my emotions can relax and feel safe enough to do it.
Yep,
I'm
same.
still so wound that I'm just not doing anything like that right now, but I can feel it tugging at me. And I've been kind of waiting to go to the beach, when I
Yeah.
can be alone. But I I would I want to go down to the nearest property by the river.
Yeah, you should do that. No kidding, because
Yeah,
that's such a holy place for you.
well, it is, yeah. And so I was just going to say, if you want to come with me, it's a good time to go grab some of that plant that we like
Hmm.
if you want. And I'm just going to probably take a lawn chair because our my sitting log is gone, and
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
just sit there and hang for a little bit, or maybe just sit on the back end of my car or something. If you want to come to that, if any day feels like a good day to do it, and and we can either do the type A vacation, which is go down there and record, or we can do the type B vacation, which is go down there and not. Either thing is fine, and I'm going to do it anyway. So you might enjoy it.
My doctor today said, you want to get your flu shot today? And I said, no, it's going to be a really heavy week and I can't take a chance
Yeah.
on that, kind of backfiring on me. And she went, is it? What's going on? I said, it's the week of the anniversary of Helene. And she just looked at me like she was stupid. She just went, duh. Okay. She said, you got a lot of stuff on this week. And I said, no, I'm making enough time. So if I have a breakdown,
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Smart.
She said, well, call me if you need pills. She's good. I like her a lot.
Yeah, that is nice. Well,
Get some pills. So
yeah.
I'll go get my shot next week. Maybe I will.
I'm going to go to that planetarium show, and if I don't come out of it sick with something, then I'll go get my flu shot first.
When is
Because
that show?
the planet show is this coming Sunday.
Oh, golly.
Yeah. So, and I am so excited about it. I am. It sounds like it's going to be just a really good show, and I'm glad to know of another planetarium in the area. I love him so much. I love him so much.
I'm looking forward to actually having some clear skies at night so I can see the night sky.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dang,
And
it feels like forever since I've seen anything.
it does, and it does. It really does. But I've been driving around some of the last couple of days and noticing that it's not just a hue anymore. There was a hue where the trees were starting to kind of give off a hue that was a little reddish orange, maybe.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh,
now
it's
it's
here.
definitely a color now. It went from hue to color. So that
Yeah.
makes it real.
Well, I was talking or texting, I guess, with my friend, the Methodist minister, and she just checking in, see how I was doing. And I said, well, I'm saving this week out, not trying to get too much scheduled because just in case this is the week of the breakdown. And she said,
Yeah.
well, hey, if you need something, let me know. And I said, well, I'm thinking I just may stay a little bit drunk all week, just a little bit. And she said, well, I'm a really good designated driver. So if you need me, I'll just come on over there. And I said, well, would you also be my designated driver to drive me down to Broughton? Because that's what you might really need to do.
Oh, except that Broughton doesn't exist anymore, does
I
it?
know. It's just a symbol.
Yeah. But I wonder if that building is still around.
I don't know.
That'd be an interesting place to go. No, it wouldn't. What am I saying? That would not be an
Well,
interesting place. I
we
wouldn't want to
we
go there.
need good facilities. Now,
Yeah,
Broughton wasn't necessarily a good facility, but we do need that again.
I believe that we do. I know some people, and you know who I'm talking about. And they
I
need
do.
some help. They need
And
some help.
the only way they're going to get that help is through an inpatient program.
Right.
And those damn things, if you're doing it privately,
Yeah.
it's prohibitive. Nobody can afford that.
You need to be wealthy to be
Yeah.
able to, and the
Yep.
system is so broken that, see, in my opinion, there are three aspects to this, and one is there's a mental illness aspect. The other is there's a criminal aspect, and the other is the drug addiction.
Yeah.
And all three of those things go together, and the person is a triple threat. But the
Yes.
problem is the system won't take them. They don't fit anywhere because they'll get kicked out. They won't the mental they won't go into a mental facility because of the drug addiction. They won't go into a drug addiction facility because of the criminal conviction. They won't go, I mean, and so they
Yeah.
just end up not being helped. The last
Right.
time this person needed some help, they just ended up taking the person to a homeless shelter and dropping them
Yeah.
off.
It's just nasty.
Right.
How in the world can a country like this, how can a country that is going out of its way right now to proclaim that it is a Christian nation, how can it leave people like that? How?
I don't understand. And I wasn't aware that the facilities, the mental institutions had closed. I'm that sheltered in my life that I didn't realize that they weren't being state funded anymore until this last year, when I happened to ask a question and somebody told me, well, of course not. Those haven't been opened for blah, blah, blah. And I didn't realize that, but it explains a lot of what, of the people that I think that I see that are, without a home. They're unhoused, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them like it, but the vast majority of them, I'm sure, would prefer to be somewhere stable and safe. And I would like that for them too. So I don't know when we forgot to have compassion along the way. And I don't know when we decided that we weren't responsible for our brethren. I don't know when. But it's a bullshit statement. It's a bullshit. If you live in a community, you have to take some responsibility for for helping others in the community.
But they
Flat out.
don't. A lot of people don't. They don't feel like that's any of their business. They
Right.
don't have any responsibility at all.
They feel like an infringement on their personal rights to be told that they should take responsibility for other folks. They feel like that's a sin. Like that you can't take my right away to be an asshole. I don't have to take care of Mama. She's, probably deserves it. Or,
Well, and
or whatever it is.
that tracks right back to the crow Puritans and the people that founded this country,
Well,
because they believed that if you weren't successful and healthy and all of that, that was a punishment because you had done something bad. They might not know what it was, but they could tell through outward appearances
it's
that
just,
you were not thriving, and therefore you were not right with God.
I just don't understand it. I remember being amazed when I read about the tribe, that if someone does something horrible, they take that person in, the entire village comes out, they sit with them and talk to them and love on them until they fix them, basically.
And sing to them.
Yeah, instead of making fun of them or punishing them or blah 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 blah. So they basically don't have any crime, just occasionally. And that's because everybody is supported, everybody is taken care of, and nobody has this entitlement of self-sufficiency, and that's it. I can be self-sufficient, and the more I have, the better on me, and too bad, so sad for the rest of them out there. They didn't work as hard, or they don't deserve it as much, or whatever reason people tell themselves. I don't even know if they do. I think they just go on about their business, and it's just assumed that you have the right to be self-sufficient, but to not want to help anybody else, not have any kind of responsibility towards your community. That's what I should say. Or even if it was just me, I would be just beholden to my own self. But if it's a community, then it takes all of those people in the community to depend on each other to make it function correctly. I mean,
Yeah.
it just does.
Yeah.
And so, whatever. There are some people who, in their mind, they just feel that they are superior, and that's not their responsibility. That they can take their wealth, their accumulated junk, whatever it is they have, and keep it. And if somebody is on the street and doesn't have enough, it's oh well.
It's too bad.
Yeah. I can't understand it. I don't
No,
understand
and
it.
especially after this last year,
Yeah.
when we didn't care who needed it. We just found out what they needed,
Yeah.
and we gave it to them. And I
Yeah.
remember people saying, because we had all those cases and cases of water out in the hallway, and
Yeah.
people were like, "Aren't you afraid somebody's going to steal it?" And we were, "Well, how can they steal it? It's for them."
Yeah.
It's not stealing. It's out there so it's convenient for them to get it to their car.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But what if
So,
somebody took all of it? Well, if they took all of it, I'm gonna assume that they needed it or their community needed it, and we'll get more.
yeah. Agreed. That
I know
it
that makes
was
me sound like a great big communist or something, but that's just the truth.
but it doesn't. It doesn't. It just means that you are about helping people. You're showing Christian values.
Hmm. It's too bad when the pagan has to show Christians how to behave.
Well, I can't remember the situation, but I remember watching some situation, and the yard man said something to me about it. About you. You were the most Christian person in that room that time.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
true. That's true. So, oh well. Hey, so let's talk a little bit about the season coming up. It's my favorite because
Hmm.
it's a transition time, but I so look forward to it because it's the breath of fresh air. It's the time of slowing down. It's the time to watch nature closely so that you can see what's coming up. It's the time of sounds and smells that are, fall, and every now and then you might want to feel cuddly, get the thick blanket or something and just cuddle up with it.
Uh-huh.
I love fall, not necessarily pumpkin spice, but I love fall. And
Yeah.
it's
It's
also a time when the the the
it's my
beloved
favorite.
dead.
I'm like you, it's my favorite season.
Yeah. And it's also the time when we see, we have other voices that we talk with. Or
Yeah.
I don't know, you do it all the time, whether
I
it's
do it all the
fall or
time. People think
not.
I'm crazy as a bed bug.
Well, you know,
It's-
I don't know what to say
Well,
on
I
that.
was in there. We were painting that one wall on Friday. I had come in with a gallon of Kills,
Yeah.
and I told the other volunteers, I want you to leave now at 2 o'clock because I'm going to mask up and I'm going to lay this Kills on here. And we don't all need to smell that because it's
Oh yeah.
funky town.
Pungent. It's
So,
pungent.
so I'm in there and I've got a sacrificial brush. I'm just going to paint, 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 and I'm going to throw that brush away.
Okay.
And I'm painting, painting, and it's quiet. I'm just painting and it's quiet. And then I hear the youngins.
Oh.
And I hear first what sounds like whispering. And I had the AC on in the
Hmm.
chapel room, and I thought, well, I'm just hearing the sound
Yeah.
of that, whatever. And then I thought, no, that's not what I'm hearing. And I crept over with my brush full of Kills. I crept over to the door because I had it closed, and I just leaned into the door, and it was like hearing. It was like hearing a recording turned down really, really low.
Mhm.
And okay, I'm gonna go back in time to the idea of a tape recording, where it was
Okay.
really, really low, and the speed kept changing, like there was a
A
stretch in the
warped.
tape,
Yeah.
so that it was sometimes it'd speed up, and sometimes it'd be sounded like normal, and sometimes it'd be very, very, very slow. And so I'm just listening, but I can't make out what they're saying. And I just thought, I bet they're just curious about what we're doing. It's
Yeah.
like, why is somebody still in there? They've closed the door. They should be home now. We should be able to run the halls and laugh and giggle and do
Hmm.
whatever we want to do without those people in that room listening to us. So
Interesting.
I'm listening and listening, and I get closer and closer to the door, and I whisper through the door crack of the door. I whisper, "I love you." And it's silent, and it is silent.
Oh.
And then I hear the giggles. I hear the
Oh
so
boy.
so that was my big experience with the children on Friday.
That is a pretty
I
cool.
love you.
Man, I would. There's a part of me that wants to go get my equipment and see if I can pick up blah blah blah, But then there's this other part of me that's like, I don't need to pick it up.
It's right there. I mean, you just come in there and be quiet, and Yeah.
thinking about bringing equipment in. But yeah, I know what you mean about that. The sound. It's almost like I had a tape, a cassette tape way back in the day, and it would have the sound of the ocean. But before the man's voice who introduced the tape, it slowly faded into the sound of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So at first it would say, "Hi, you are listening to blah blah blah. This is blah blah blah. Very soon you will hear blah blah blah." And at that point you will be blah blah blah, and then the voice would just keep talking and talking and talking. And the waves would get louder and louder. And you could kind of hear something whispering under the waves, but you weren't quite sure what it was. That was an experience that I don't know why I loved that. I went for that when I was young. I found that was in one of those boxes that my grandpa got at the auction, one of those $2 milk crate boxes that usually had all
Yeah.
kinds of. It would have like all kinds of junk and then one clock that he wanted. So it'd have some paperbacks, some of those smutty housewife paperbacks, and it might have, in my case, it might have a set of cassette tapes to help you. I don't think this was a quit smoking series, but it was something like that. Quit smoking. Maybe it was lose weight or something like that. Um, and I was probably 10, I'd say 10 years old. And just took them with me and listened to them when I was falling asleep at night. So who knows what got instilled in me because of whatever was on those tapes. I really don't know.
Oh,
Anyway,
golly.
I
Well, I mean, it is that time of year.
yeah,
It
yeah,
feels like there's just a lot of voices on the air.
it does,
Yeah.
and I feel like this is lately for me anyway. I've felt like I have no privacy. Like I've always got somebody looking over my shoulder or somebody is watching me or something, something. I really have felt that way lately. And I've caught myself several times saying, "Okay, I need some alone time. Could you guys please, step away?" And I just
Yeah.
have had to say, "Leave me alone for a little bit." So they're there and they care enough to allow themselves to be seen or something. And I have my theories about how energy translates. I do, but but I still need privacy. I do. I just every now and then I'd like. It's like having a cat follow you around to the bathroom or something, which I would
Or a
know
child.
nothing about.
Or a child. I mean, I'm still at
Or a
the place,
child.
and my child has not done this in many, many decades now, but she would never, and the cats wouldn't either, allow me to go to the bathroom by myself. As soon as went in the bathroom, closed the door, sat down to do my business, there'd either be a cat paw under the door scratching up, like, I know you're in there. Would you just open the door and let me in? Or there'd be some child, my child, just rattling the doorknob saying, "Can I come in, mommy? Can I come in? Mommy, 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 I need you. Can I come in?" So I don't even close the bathroom door now most of the time. And I'll go to people's houses and I'll go, "Oh, which way's the bathroom? Oh, it's just down the hall on the left." And I don't even close the door at other people's houses. It's just like, what's the point? What's the point?
Well,
So
I
I'm
know
I'm
exactly
turning
what
into
you're
those
saying.
weirdo house guests. It's like, yes, she comes over, but she never closes the damn bathroom door.
I bet nobody's ever noticed that, and I don't bet. I bet
Probably
nobody ever
not.
cared. You know.
Probably not.
So back to the holiday season. This is a holiday. It may not be a typical one, but it's a holiday. This is a time of balance. This is when the earth is transitioning. This is a good interesting time. People often feel strong feelings of sometimes of dread or nervousness, as sometimes of anxiety and sometimes of anticipation. But it's almost like, and I've had many people tell me through the years, they've talked about the veil. It feels thin right now. It feels thin right now. And of course, you and I, our thing has been, well, what veil? What's
Yeah.
a veil?
Yeah.
But for those folks who are sensitive to the earth seasons, and everybody is on some level, and what what to expect? What is it for the newbies out there that are just now noticing things like that? How the
Uh, Yesterday in our ritual, we did a little part of our ceremony where we had a broom and we passed the broom around, and you were to sweep away what you did not want to take with you into this next 6 weeks, where the nights get progressively longer and the daytime gets shorter and shorter and shorter. And and it was interesting to hear what the people, and I said, you can either say it out loud if you want to, or you can say it to yourself as you, and just sweep from the middle of the circle outward. And of course we were outside, so there were leaves they could sweep.
yeah.
And it was so interesting to hear what some of the things were that they wanted to get rid of, that they did not want to carry with them into this dark time.
Hmm.
And I think that's a good way to look at this time of balance. And I've taken to calling this the days of balance. Like it's 2 or 3 days of getting your act together and getting rid of those things that either that don't nourish you or nurture you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't do that, why do you have it? And if you are clinging on to it because it's a tradition or because it's something your family always did or whatever, does it serve you or are you serving it? And what
Hmm.
and what does it do? So
Hmm.
I encourage everybody for the next 6 weeks to be thinking about coming into that last 6 weeks between Samhain and the winter solstice to really jettison the stuff that you've been hanging on to, the anxiety about things you can't do anything about.
Hmm.
There, there's just, to my way of thinking, there's no point in worrying about something you can't do anything about.
Right. I mean, if what you do is you take it in, you understand it, you make your plan, and you walk away from it if you can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
And that way, at least you have the security of knowing how you're going to react if blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But you don't have that emotional thing. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek, this last weekend,
Uh
and I've original series. And
huh.
matter of fact, I started out, first episode, second episode, watching Spock as a new character. He had all these emotions and stuff in the first few episodes, and then he got his logic and his in overriding his emotions under control for most of the rest of the episodes. But the first 3 episodes or so, he was all about it, having repressed emotions and stuff. I thought that was interesting. And the other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention was the new, I don't know if this is a super trend or a bar, or I'm not sure what it is, but I've been seeing the bumper stickers that say Busco Novia Toxica.
So,
Busco Novia Toxica. And that means looking for a toxic girlfriend.
ugh,
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
I don't know. I haven't seen any of that. I'm gonna have to Google it.
Yeah, it's Busco Novia Toxica. And so, if what I would say is no mas Busco Novio Toxico with the O's. No,
Right.
no more of those toxic men is what I would say. No more
Yeah,
toxic boyfriends.
definitely.
But yeah, I don't know. That's a weird. I have no idea, and it's all what I've been seeing. It's like it's always a like a window decal, and I
Hmm.
want to say that it's got some. I want to think that it's. I think the font is white, and it's not fancy. It doesn't have any graphics or anything. It just says Busco Novia Toxica. And when I first saw it, I was like, what? Is that what I think it is? And it was.
Huh.
It was. It's like looking
Well, I'm
for.
going to have to figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah, I thought you might get an interest in that. So yeah. So now you pretty much have all my news. I've got some kinfolk coming in from Robbinsville for a night or two to hang out. That's good.
Oh,
And
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
hang out over at mom's, and good experience with the electrician earlier today. And
Good,
I'm
good.
going to Zoom with Craig at 9 o'clock. He's going to give me a studio music lesson.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well, all I'm doing is drinking and having a breakdown. So good on us.
Good on you. And I hope the breakdown does what it needs to do and isn't too hard on you. And
Well,
I wish I could.
I want to get this big deposit into the bank tomorrow on my way into Raven and Crown.
Okay.
And I want to, get my electric bill paid. And it seems like I got one. That might be the only bill till next month.
Yeah.
Just in case, just in
I,
case.
Heather Cox Richardson would agree.
I tell you, I love that woman.
I do too. She taught me the theory of the intelligent Martian.
Yes, wasn't that good?
It was. I thought, where's that been all my life? I'm going to do that. I'm going to use that.
Me too.
I'm an intelligent Martian. What does this look like? So, oh well.
Yeah.
The weirdlings are good as far as I know.
Well, our little John, as I'm all, treat him like he's a little young, and he is getting better every day. I
I'm
mean,
so
sometimes
glad.
it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but
Yeah.
he's got, it's a long healing process. It seems like
Oh, yeah.
Angie is doing good on her job.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear the update on John. And John, hello. I'm thinking about
Hey,
you.
John, we love you.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. You got all my news. I think I got like some of your news. I'm exhausted from what I did on Dark Moon. If I do what I do.
That's right. You're
Yeah,
doing the do.
I
All
will.
right.
You too.
Love you, big.
Love you. We'll see you
Bye.
later. Bye, y'all. Thanks for
Bye.
listening.
WYRD Radio.
People are just bag ass stupid sometimes.